Hello, Jack. I'm very pleased that you have joined my show, and I would like to talk to you about your experience and about Woo ecosystem. So, first things first, what's your story?
Well, I started trading when I was like 14, 15 years old. I grew up in an immigrant family in the US. We were not very well off, and achieving some sort of economic freedom was really attractive to me. So I got started early. And of course, like many people who got into crypto, when they see things moon, that was me when I was 14 and 15 during the dot-com bubble. So, I definitely had my fair share of ups and downs in the financial system. And that initial interest in trading and finance led me to my career on Wall Street, first at BNP, then Deutsche Bank. And, I enjoyed working there for about 1.5 years out of the total 10 years that I worked there. And, I think my personality is one where I really enjoy making something new and seeing trends, opportunities, and trying to catch those things. It's natural for a trader. And, it was just getting very frustrating on Wall Street because things are just kind of done as they were. And then one day I saw on TV, like, Bitcoin going from 200 to 1,200, falling back to 200 because a big exchange got hacked back then. It was like the only exchange back then. And I took that as an opportunity to buy some Bitcoin. That's kind of how I got into this thing initially. And then, of course, later, my co-founder, Mark Pimentel, wrote a white paper about a decentralized futures exchange all the way back in 2017. And we've been trying to execute on that vision where finance is decentralized and we break down all the barriers and make all the opportunities available to everyone, right? So this is kind of our journey, a long-term journey.
Yeah. Additional question, when did you first hear about Bitcoin? Maybe someone told you, or maybe it was in news?
Yeah. To go into more detail, I guess, I was on the trading floor of Deutsche Bank, and I saw on CNBC this chart, this crazy looking chart, something that went from a few cents to $1,000. And, everyone laughed it off as some sort of a joke, as some sort of a scam. But when I just dug in a little bit more, this thing's been around for, I think 7 years or something like that when I saw it. And I'm like, usually scams don't last for 7 years.
Yeah.
Right. Usually scams go away as more light is shed on, the idea and the people behind it. And Bitcoin only seemed to be gaining more credibility. So this really piqued my interest.
Yeah, and we are living in different era when it comes to Bitcoin, because now we have banks, we have huge financial institutions joining this space. But tell me more about Woo. How did it started? Because it's entire ecosystem. So can you tell me more?
Yeah, Woo was born in the middle of a bear market. When we started raising money, most of the people who kind of got into crypto in 2017, early 2018, they've already left. All the scam projects, all the guys who said that they ran a fund, but they were just investing their own money. A lot of them kind of blew out because they took too much risk and didn't understand that this stuff is very cyclical and has very fast cycles. And so our original way of sustaining ourselves was to offer market-making services, was to do discretionary trading, to try to just generate enough money to build the infrastructure, right, that we needed. And that infrastructure is Kronos Research, right? Kronos Research now trades billions of dollars per day. across many of the largest exchanges in the world. And we are kind of like their partners and also their users. We provide liquidity to them, and we trade on these exchanges with the best fees and the best API limits. But Chronos Research is a hedge fund, and our original idea was to offer a level playing field for the average person. It was to build tools so that traders and investors can be more successful. So the moment Chronos was a little bit stable, we created the WOO network.
All right, and what's the WOO network's vision? What do you want to achieve in 2021 or maybe 2022? Because it's growing, and like you've said, you are liquidity provider and also user of those network. When I first heard about WOO and I found out that you provide liquidity to big exchanges, I was basically shocked.
Mm-hmm. What happened was after Chronos got some street credibility, a lot of the exchanges came to us and said, can you please provide liquidity? Can you do market making for us on Bitcoin, ETH, all these major pairs? But for Chronos to connect to their API and to trade on their exchanges, it was a lot of work, and it wasn't ultimately that profitable to do that business. And so the first thing we did was create this liquidity pool, right? Because we're good at trading and we're good at providing liquidity, right? So we created this liquidity pool that other platforms, wallets, exchanges can plug into, and then basically make their own liquidity really good for their own users. And in that kind of indirect way, we felt like we were doing something for the community as well. But it wasn't direct enough. And so we have a lot of other products launching, and products that already launched, like WooX, like WooFi, and we also have ventures now investing into really exciting projects in the metaverse, GameFi, like all sorts of different trends. Yeah.
You've mentioned metaverse. Do you think it will go so crazy like NFTs? Because NFTs became like mania. Everyone believed that buying some NFT for $100 will make him millionaire. So, and I see a huge potential in NFTs and metaverse, especially now when Facebook became Meta.
Yeah, our idea of the metaverse is one that is open, not centrally owned, composable with, other platforms and protocols. Facebook is very centralized. It controls all the user data.
Yeah.
So I think just changing the name won't really change the business model for them. But who knows? Maybe they will shift totally. So for us, I think it's really important to understand who it is we're serving, right? And for WOO Network, that is traders and investors, and all of our products and services are built to make them more successful, right? That is our business model.
So it's not like you want to take their money, you want to make them earn, so you will earn with them.
Yes.
And that's very important.
That's the only way to create a sustainable and growing community. And I think if anybody has felt firsthand what the WOO community is like, I think they'll see that, right? That it's not just talk with us. Everything that we do, we're congruent.
Yeah, of course. My next question is, maybe you have some sneak peek or something we can expect during the next 6 months from WOO ecosystem.
Oh, there's so much launching, but I think the ones that we've made public so far is like cross-chain DEXs. We have futures launching, sub-accounts. So this is a couple of the things that we have. We also wrote about social trading. And our kind of view is that there's a lot of good traders out there. But they don't necessarily have the right platform to market themselves. And so people who could be following their strategy or gaining from what they do, they're not gaining. And it creates some sort of a loophole for a lot of people who are just really good at marketing themselves, right? They're good at marketing themselves, but they're not really good at trading or investing. And these guys are gaining a lot of followers on Twitter, on other social media. And then, who's getting the benefit, right? It's the KOLs who are getting the benefit, but the end users, the followers, they're actually not getting much, right? Sometimes you follow something, you get a pump, and then other times they're just dumping on you. And so we're trying to empower people to understand the difference in a more automated and transparent way.
Yeah, that's very important. Like you've said, sometimes you can be too late, and then you will just buy someone's tokens and they will go down,
right?
Like minus 90 or 99%.
Yeah.
Then you will lose your money, and then usually people say, he fooled me, he tricked me, cryptocurrencies are a scam,
Yes.
I don't want to have to do anything with it. And where are the regulators? Where are the regulators? Why didn't they ban the cryptocurrencies yet?
Yes, yes. And then the regulators hear that and come and ban everything. So
yeah,
this is not what we want. And I think the industry needs to just create more transparency and more tools for people so that they don't get into that situation.
Yeah. And one of those tools is WooX. So Woo Exchange, I guess it's the short acronym of Woo Exchange, right? WooX. So what are the advantages? Of course, I know the answer to these questions, but I ask you, so I will...
Yeah, so like if you've ever tried WooX, you'll just immediately notice the difference, right? Because it gives you more freedom to trade your way and to view the market your way. Every module, like charts, order entry, you can position as you wish on your screen. Every single kind of feature detail is done such that it makes the trader's life more easy, right? It makes your efforts amplified, right, for your results. This is really WooX, and along with that, there's zero fees, right? Yeah. For people who stake a bit of tokens, there's zero fees. So this is WooX currently.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to check the Woo Exchange because it's great. You can set everything like you want. You can move all those windows. So yeah, I used it myself, and it's great. And of course, you can stake Woo tokens, and you can earn from others who do the trade. Okay, but now you expand to European Union. So what are your plans for your EU expansion?
Well, kind of our plan is to reach as many people as possible. And in the EU, the regulation is more clear. And so we feel more comfortable to operate here. And so the idea is to get licensed, to get the banking channels, and just operate within the regulatory framework. EU has many different countries, many different languages, culture, and it's just a very interesting place to be and very dynamic. So now our team is like growing really fast, and we have Russian speaker, Ukrainian speaker, Polish speakers, Turkish speakers, and it's something that I never expected when I first entered the space, and it's just like such a blast to work with everyone.
Yeah, and like you've mentioned, there are some regulations, there are some regulators you can work with, like Estonia or Malta or UK or other. Maybe there will be some UE level regulations in the future, but we will see. But I have to ask you about Poland, because you've entered Poland. And what are your plans for this space? Because it's my country, I live here, I have my community here, so I would like to know more.
Sure. Well, Poland is such a rich country of engineers, I would say, and technically focused people. right?
Yeah.
Good at math, good at programming, good at sciences, but also like legal talent here is quite strong. So, you know, as we look into all of these different products that we're building, right, from DeFi to CeFi to now the DAO, ventures teams, I think, you know, the biggest bottleneck that we keep facing is that the tech is slower than the business side, right? Yeah. If our tech can keep up, then we would, you know, we would be able to service many more people and faster and better. So we want to resolve this bottleneck, and Poland is one solution.
Yeah, it's like tech and law. Tech always evolves much faster than the law.
Yes.
And then we have those regulation problems.
Yes.
Yeah, so my last question, additional one. So do you think, okay, it's not a financial advice, it's a joke and treat it as such, but do you think the bull market ended?
I hope not, because, you know, like I've been through so many cycles in the traditional space. When I first started in Wall Street, it was 2006 summer. And within 2 years, Lehman Brothers, which was next door to BNP, where I worked, disappeared. That was the first kind of like major shock, right? And even before that, I experienced a couple of crises, like Asian financial crisis, 1997, I think. And then before that, it was the tech bust, right? And like everybody was writing off Silicon Valley, saying that this is like, you know, not going to come back, right? So I don't really, we don't really provide value to the market by calling the exact market top or calling bull market, bear market, although sometimes we may if we have a very strong opinion. But now we don't see everything ending, right? Because there's so much money going in and so much talent going in. And ultimately, I think, you know, from my own personal point of view, the Fed is not likely to destroy the goodwill that they have with the markets just like that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Americans want everything bigger. So they don't want to stay behind. They know they can't fight cryptocurrencies anymore. And I always tell that crypto space is so tiny compared to the financial markets. So it has so much potential. It has so much space to grow. And the amount of money flowing in is ridiculously high.
Yes. But there's going to be cycles, right?
Yeah, of course, like, I completely agree.
NFTs may be super hot and then super cold, right? And a lot of people will lose a lot of money. Yeah. But they've made a lot of money when everything is good. So there's going to be these cycles, right? And it's just important to not overextend beyond the financial means, right? And think longer term and not get caught up in all the hype. That's my advice. Yeah, when there's hype, you should sell, not buy. And usually people buy. Yes. So it's like they should buy rumors and sell facts, or buy the panic and sell the euphoria. But trading is very counterintuitive, right? Yeah. That's why people need the tools and the social support to do better, right? Yeah, and that's why they have Woo ecosystem and Woo exchange. Yeah. So yeah, we encourage people to go register, check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. I hope so. Yeah. And if it's not good, please let customer service know, and you know, then you can feel how that side of the story is as well. Yeah, and then you can also write in Polish, right? Yes. So you don't have to learn English, but you should. All right, Jack, thank you very much for your time. I think it's been great. So if people will have any questions, we encourage them to ask them, so we will answer them all. Thanks a lot. Thanks. My pleasure. Thanks.